And now for the sponsor perspective portion of our program. Before we get underway, a quick clarification. While this interview is being conducted by me and the questions are mine, this content shouldn't be considered editorial. With that, I'm joined by Qualcomm's Vice President of Public Affairs, Christine Trimble, and Kelly Chambake, an engineer at Qualcomm. I think she's been there now for 5 years, I'm told. So Kelly, I want to get right to you in a second. But let me start out with Christine. Christine, it's great to be with you. I'm going to go off script a little bit here and tell people, that Qualcomm has a company with more than 140,000 patents. It's a huge patent machine. And I just went to the founder. I just went to this webpage. I just did this right now. Irwin Jacobs, the founder of Qualcomm, I think had about 16, but they had a big one. It's patent number 4901307. Spread spectrum multiple access communication system using satellite or terrestrial repeaters. That was the core patent that led to all of this crazy. And I just want to basically ask you at the beginning about the patent culture at Qualcomm, about the concern at Qualcomm that there are many communities that haven't been part of that patent culture, and you've launched something called Invent Together to help directly address diversity and inclusion in science and patent culture.
Hi, Steve. It's good to see you again, too. I'd love to talk about this. One of our core beliefs at Qualcomm is that the rich and diverse perspectives of our employees are essential to innovation and our success, and always have been, as you noted, since the beginning days. And as part of our external efforts to expand diversity and inventing and patenting, we founded Invent Together about a year and a half ago. It's an alliance of universities, nonprofits, and other stakeholders focused on ensuring everyone has an equal opportunity to invent and patent their ideas. We're dedicated to understanding the diversity gaps that exist in invention and patenting and supporting public policy and private initiatives to close them. Right now, patenting is overwhelmingly white and male. Researchers have found large and disturbing gaps in who invents and patents. Less than 13% of all inventors who hold U.S. patents are women, and Black and Latino college graduates patent at half the rate of white college graduates. Researchers have found eliminating the patent gaps would quadruple the number of American inventors and increase annual GDP by almost $1 trillion. So you can see why we're incredibly passionate about this and about breaking down the barriers to inventing. We see it's an innovation economy imperative, and it's really critical to solving the world's problems today.
Well, thank you, Christine. Kelly, are you in San Diego?
No, I'm in Cambridge in the UK.
Okay, well, do they fly you over to San Diego sometimes?
I hope so.
Well, there's this cool hall. Again, this is off script, but there's this cool hall with all these patents that Qualcomm had. Some of them were cool successes, some of them were before their time, and some of them were flops. But it's so interesting to see all of this at Qualcomm's headquarters. I'm just telling folks, you should go see it if you get the chance. Kelly, I hope you do. But I'm interested, you're a PhD in electronics and communication. You've seen this all close up. And I'm interested in what itch led you to want to overcome the barriers that are out there that we're talking about today, to become a PhD engineer, to take the track you're doing. And what, in your experience, can you share with others so they can replicate that?
Thank you, Steve, for having me today. To answer your question, I was fortunate enough to be inspired early in my life by my father. My father inspired me to become an engineer. He was a mechanical engineer with a passion for technology. He used his mobile phone a lot and sometimes complained about the heat it generated. This grows my interest on the mode of operation of mobile phones. During my studies, I was shocked by the small number of female of my cohort. Because I love challenges, this inspired me and motivates me to do my PhD in order to inspire the younger generation. 4 key lessons I learned from my educational journey. One is the necessity to have a purpose, because this will keep you motivated. Number 2, resilience and persistence. because we need them to overcome setbacks. Number 3, and this is really important, reflecting a lot on mistakes and success in order to better coach the younger generation and avoid making the same mistakes. And finally, the importance of diversity in a classroom, because it prepares students for the professional life. Interacting with people from different backgrounds and mindsets can be challenging. And when you've never faced diversity, especially at a younger age.
You know, I think Christine knows this story, but I knew the founder and CEO of Qualcomm in the 1980s, and at that time he was seriously doubted. I mean, the world out there didn't think he would succeed. They thought he was this crazy UC San Diego professor and it wouldn't come together. And he was very focused on what I just read was that patent. You yourself have had a number of patents, and I'd love to hear your patent journey. And are people looking at you like they looked at him? Oh, she's kind of crazy, that's never going to work.
So to tell you a small story, so when I came for my on-site interview at Qualcomm in Cambridge, I came across the patent wall, and to be honest, this inspired me. So soon after joining the company, I dreamed of having a patent. So the process of having a patent can be complex and intimidating. It is complex in a business setting and in an academic setting. Although Qualcomm does a great job at encouraging and celebrating all inventors, and also ensuring that they have the necessary training and the know-how, the knowledge of the patent process. And also they recognize all their inventors and make sure that they show their recognition and their contribution. So few useful things that helped me was, one, the education that we have at Qualcomm about the patent process, and also all the colleagues, role models, because they helped a lot and they gave me great advice and great feedback. Number 3, the workshops they organize on demystifying the complex patenting process. And last but not least, the support of my hierarchy, because they encourage me a lot and keep encouraging me to find new ideas. Yeah.
Well, Christine, Kelly, first of all, I hope you continue having fun, because fun's also part of it. But Christine, I want to ask you, how do we scale Kelly Chambake? How do we begin looking at, particularly communities of color that have not been part of this culture generally? I know that Invent Together, you've launched the Patent Academy. Tell us how Qualcomm is thinking about scaling some of what we've just heard from Kelly's experience.
Well, it's really understand that it's really about helping others understand the patenting process. I mean, those that are not necessarily in large corporations where they have many resources and programs and all. And that's what will help us bring others into the patent ecosystem. And that's why we, this year, introduced what's called the Inventors Patent Academy, or we refer to it as TIPA. And when we looked out at patent education resources, we noticed that there was really a lack of education curriculum for underrepresented inventors. So TIPA is a free, easy to understand course that explains the U.S. patenting process as experienced by the inventor. It's really unique in that it's intentionally intended for underrepresented inventors, women, people of color, lower income individuals, veterans, and others. And it features the inventing and patenting journeys of diverse inventors. It represents a tangible, common sense step to help ensure that all potential inventors can chase their dreams and break down the barriers currently holding them back. We're really excited about this, and it's one step, but it is a resource that can help others overcome these barriers. So you should check it out, Steve. It's on the inventtogether.org website under Patent Academy.
That's great. I am going to check it out. And as you know, I get crazy excited about this topic. But I also want to tell people, particularly in Washington, one of the great places I think in town to just inspire children and kids from all backgrounds is the National Inventors Hall of Fame, in which Qualcomm is a major part. And this culture is one I don't think we talk enough about. And I would also say, I just love Kelly talking about not everything goes right. We learn from our mistakes as much as we learn from the positive things we do. And I think that's also been your folk story. Thank you so much to both of you, to Christine Trimble, who's Vice President of Public Affairs at Qualcomm, and Kelly Chambake, Staff Analog Design IC Engineer at Qualcomm, apparently in the UK, but I hope she gets to San Diego and see that patent museum. So great to see you both.
Thank you, Steve.